Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new series on React.js, and in this video I am going to explain you about the folder structure of the React applications which we created in the previous video. And if you haven't watched my previous video, I highly recommend you to watch that first before jumping into this video. And if you are all set, let's start this video. So the first folder we are going to explain is the node module folder. As you guys know that when we create any JavaScript project, so we usually install few dependencies, few npm packages, the node packages, and those node packages are installed or stored inside node module folder. And then we have a public folder which contains all the files which we want to make publicly visible, like some images or some PDF files, etc. Depends upon your requirement. Then comes the src folder which contains all the files which we are going to work mostly with, but I'll come to this file later. But first, git ignore. So this file contains all the path, folder path, file path which we don't want to push to the GitHub. And next comes the ESLint. So this is the default linting used by Vite, and this file will be created by Vite, and I don't think that we are going to update this file for this tutorial series. Next comes index.html. So this is the file which will be served to the end user, and this file basically contains a div element and with the ID root, and somewhere in our React application we will be writing a logic to render all the React component to this particular div element. Next we have package.json and package.json. So this file contains the details like name, some scripts like dev script, build script, few dependencies which we are using in our React project, and it has some dev dependencies as well which will be part of the dev environment only, and these dev dependencies won't be part of a production build. That's why they are inside a separate property called dev dependencies. Next we have readme, and finally we have Vite config file, and here we are using only one plugin called React, because Vite can be used for multiple types of libraries, frameworks like Angular and all. So finally src, inside src we have again a set where we can keep our blob storage like PDF and all kind of files. And main.js file contains the logic of rendering a React component into HTML element, and this is the file React will look for whenever we start a React application. It uses a method called create root, and then we have to pass the path of the HTML element. In our case it is root, and then we have to apply a render method, and the render method takes an argument and which we have to pass a React component. And this is how we have to call a React component, by using opening bracket and closing brackets, or the greater than and the less than sign. So we had a component called as app which we will look into shortly, and that app component we are passing to the root element by using create root method. This is the CSS file which we are using inside main.js, and this is the React component called app which I'll explain you in upcoming videos, and it returns some HTML element, and you can see here it is importing a CSS file as well, app.css. So this is the CSS file which is getting imported into our app component. So this is all about the React folder structure, and in the next video I am going to clean up the app component, and we are going to create a fresh component from scratch. Till then, take care. I'll see you in the next one.